Hello, this is Kian again. As I'm going through the book, preparing for the MuleSoft professional certification, I come across a response scope. So I decided to create a lab to experiment around with response scope. So this is we're just gonna jump in. The request reply scope. So there is actually a MuleSoft documentation. You can go to my slide and click on it. So in the MuleSoft documentation, the request reply is actually a way for you to hook in to the response scope of a flow, so that you can modify the response before it is a handout. This is how it would look like, right? At the end of the tutorial. I'll start from scratch. First, you create a new project, call it response. So, testing. Click next. Finish. You need to start with a HTTP endpoint. This is so that it allows you a mechanism to trigger the flow. Header 808.1. Save that. And just go back to the and then you need a VM. This is to click on request response, queue powerful be input. Okay. And let's start another flow. Call it input. Queue powerful input. Make it a request response. So now here you do a transform. Append string transformer. You do append string transformer. Here you just put hello. And then click on the type request to get the request reply. What we do not need is this. So you just have the response. Copy this, paste it here. So this will be hello. How? So this is hello. How? And then so this is where it gets interesting. So here you can see the response, right? You can also do it in such a way that you can embed a response into the VM inbound. So let's create another tag. You can also put a response here. Copy this, paste it here. Here you put this U. So if you save this, you see this is how it looks like from the XML. But if you go in front, right, you will not see the response scope that is added. So if you want to process something before it exceeds your flow, right, you should put a response scope here. So just to test this and see how it works, right, I'll just run this project. Deploy, I'll just double check. This path is supposed to be test. Let's save that. I'll just stop the previous one. So this is running. Let's test it with Postman. If I put in Kian testing, let's send that in. You see, it will say Kian testing, hello, how are you? So what's happening here? Let's explore that a bit. So what we've done is we've created an app that looks like this. So what's happening here is when we create when we try to post using Postman, what happens is once we click send, we're actually posting to the first flow, and the first flow will then put the payload into the VM input. Once the VM input has the payload, the flow number, the flow with that VM will trigger, and it will go into append string, which is in the flow scope and not in the response scope. Now, what's interesting is if you look at the response scope that is inside the endpoint and outside the endpoint, response scope that is inside the endpoint is the one that is finally executed. I'll show you what I mean. So at runtime, it actually goes to a response scope that is outside of the inbound endpoint, and then it will only finally go into the response scope that is inside the receive endpoint. Once that is done, you will give back the control to the HTTP listener and send you a response saying testing, hello, how are you? That's how a response scope work. So feel free to play around with code. I've shown you how to create a test app. This is how the test app look like, and then I've also shown you runtime, how it looks like, and you can actually download the source code and the PowerPoint illustration slide from this link. Yeah, that's all. Happy learning.